Welcome to the Realtist Report. My name is Daryl Powell. I'm your host and also real estate broker. Today we have the president, yes I said it, the president of the Dearborn Realtist Board, Chicago's own Courtney Q. Jones. How are you, Courtney?
I'm great. Thank you.
Terrific to have you here. I think for Realtist Nation to get comfortable with you, to understand who you are, I like to say a little bit about you. So let's talk about you in banking. If I understand correctly, that's where you got your start as far as professional career was banking. Is that correct?
That's correct. J.P. Morgan Chase, right out of school, out of St. John's University, started in the contact center. And as us real estate brokers know, being comfortable with using the telephone is a tremendous asset.
Okay.
So I kind of got my grunt training from working in the contact center.
Was that the pilot program? There was a pilot program that they had that you were a part of. Was that, are we talking about the same thing there?
No, actually, the pilot program came a few years later after being blessed with some success in corporate America with Chase, that I was pulled to, it was 5 of us that got pulled out to actually go from managing on an investment desk to having a specific number of clients, and we were going to be responsible for growing their net assets. They had to have $250,000 as a minimum to be on the platform.
Right.
But we had a credit analyst that we worked with. We had an investment manager that we worked with in tandem. And we were responsible for growing those assets.
But then how does one get chosen for an opportunity like that?
Right place, right time. I think, I had some success in the space, so I think it opened up a couple opportunities. So that was it was a blessing.
Okay, so you graduated St. John's, you've landed this opportunity at J.P. Morgan Chase. You're there for some time, and somehow you end up in the city of Chicago. How does that happen?
Awesome ride. So simply put, 19 years with J.P. Morgan Chase, New York, Texas, and Illinois. We went through a series of mergers in the time that I was there. I want to say at least 12, and the last merger was Bank One, and in that merger, I was asked to take a leadership role over the Metro Chicagoland area in the home finance area.
So home finance is something that you've been in the field of for how long would you say then?
Oh, I would say my entire career. To put a number to it at this point, I would have to say at least 25 years.
So when did you feel the calling to start focusing all of these years of experience on the community directly, on the community in which you came from?
That is awesome. Actually, it was accidental. In all honesty, coming from Harlem, New York, which is a very community feel place, to then falling in love with the city of Chicago and it being a similar community place, it was an event that I attended at the United Center for Real Estate Brokers. And I had met Gerald McWhorter, who was in the leadership of the Dearborn Realtist Board. And he was sharing with me what the mission and the vision of the organization was, and had invited me out. And in me coming out and learning more about the organization, it was just like a fish to water. I just felt really comfortable in the space, and then having the privilege of working with so many proud black professionals, it just kind of expanded, my interest in this space, and it kind of just took off from there.
So most people, when they join organizations, they're looking to be a part of something larger than themselves, and in that, they'll find their places as a volunteer, maybe an officer, but you felt a calling to run for president of the organization. I think that's a totally different mindset than that of someone who just wants to volunteer every now and then, or head up a committee when they had the opportunity, but you felt you wanted to be responsible for the direction of the Dearborn Realtist Board, and I'm just so interested in finding out what the mindset, where that comes from, where that motivation comes from.
Again, it was accidental. I could sit here and tell Realtist Nation something different, but me, getting involved with the Dearborn Realtist Board and then applying to become a board member, I kind of became what I felt was like a taskmaster type. So, we have a committee, and our immediate past president, Tracy Taylor, would give me a call and say, Brother Jones, we're having some struggles with a committee. Would you be willing to step in and chair that committee? And it kind of became my mantra, if you will, that of problem solving or trying to add, some assistance to certain items that might not have been going the way he wanted them to be going. So from there, I just kind of grew in my leadership development with fundraising, organizing, planning events, and networking, if you will. And before you knew it, a lot of the activities that I was blessed to be charged with being responsible for had stretched me, and we had some awesome success. And I think from that is what kind of won some respect of, seasoned board members who, through different activities, had kind of promoted me, if you will, to say that, they felt I would be an awesome president with my background, even in my shorter time being within the organization.
So it's safe to say you garnered the respect of the then and now members of the Dearborn Realtors Board to a point where they felt as if you were appropriate to lead the organization.
Yeah, those folks were awesome, and they supported me, because without their support and leadership, presidency was nothing that I would have been kind of looking to do at that point.
And how long have you been president now?
4 years. This is my fourth and final year.
Fourth and final year.
That is correct.
So from where the Dearborn Realtors Board was when you stepped in to where it is now, can you talk a little bit about that progression?
Yes, I'm very excited, and where the board has ascended to. We have a very rich history. We've had some major power brokers associated with this leadership team and president of this organization. So as most of us have, been exposed to, we had the housing implosion really took its toll on black real estate and on the black community. So it definitely impacted the board in terms of a membership. We're a volunteer organization, so folks have to give of themselves, their time, and their treasure, and still either be a part of a company or, in often cases, run their own business. So when I came into presidency, we were still in our rebuilding from a lot of the perils of the real estate implosion that took place. So to see us kind of getting our legs up underneath us, and the partnerships that we've been blessed to establish with the city, with the state, nationally, with the different trade association organizations out there, I'm very proud of where the organization is headed.
So the Dearborn Realtors Board gave birth to this show, the Realtors Report, and gave me the opportunity to interview amazing people that are doing wonderful things in the community, real estate specific. I understand that the Dearborn Realtors Board is a part of a larger organization. That is just not a local thing, but this is a national movement. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, I can. It's amazing when you look at the accomplishment of black Americans and how so many folks have had to sacrifice for others to have a better shot at a life than they had. Well, I attribute that also. There are a few chapters across the country that were formed before the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, NAREB, NAREB. So when we look at where we are today, the Dearborn Realtors Board was formed in 1941. The National Association of Real Estate Brokers was founded in 1947. And it actually brought a presence of Realtist Nation across the country in the spirit of democracy in housing.
Okay.
So whether we've all championed it on our own, most of the leadership of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers and different local chapters across the country, you're a civil rights activist, right? You're lobbying for opportunities in this space like fair housing. That act was in 1968, and a lot of that stemmed from partnerships of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, NARAB, partnering with different organizations to help see a change like that take place. So it's that kind of lobbying, advocacy efforts that push social change and things needed in the housing space.
Well, so when I talk with people and I promote the Dearborn Realtist Board brand and NARAB nationally, I get some pushback, Courtney. A lot of times I'll have African Americans, specifically Chicagoans, because this is who I come into contact with mostly, who have obtained an amount of success here, we'll say in Chicago. And a lot of the pushback I receive is, well, we don't need to just focus on black and brown people. We need to focus on all people, right? And with Dearborn being community-centric, specifically in black and brown communities that have been underserved, what would you say to that individual that says to you, well, we should get away from just worrying about specifically black and brown people and worry about everyone?
I would really kind of tell them everybody has a right to feel how they feel. I think part of what I love about the trade association is it's not anti anything. It's all about inclusion. We have tons of members across this country who aren't black. It's not specific. It's about democracy and housing and fighting for underserved communities and bringing a sense of equity to the real estate industry. I mean, anybody who is in the real estate industry would want to see black, white, Hispanic, Asian communities all having access to credit, having access to capital. I mean, that's just another sale that you could take advantage of, right? If I was a mortgage lender, the more parties that I could actually provide a mortgage to, the more money I would make, right?
Okay.
So there's no one in the real estate community, that could not benefit from having a vibrant real estate marketplace across an entire city, county, and state, and for that most, a country.
So empowering a demographic that's underserved, for all intents and purposes, for everyone in the industry, gives more of an opportunity to do transactional business with people who before democracy and housing were not able to participate.
I really believe it's just that simple. It's just more people you can do business with.
Outstanding. So let's fast forward. This is January 2020. It's a new year. Everyone's rolling out their plans organizationally. Let's talk about some of the things that Dearborn has coming down the pipeline. What's first up?
First up, let me just first say, if I can, 2020 is a powerful year for Realtist Nation. We're really coming out like gangbusters, working with families. It's really all about folks join a trade association, in my humble opinion, for economic increase, right? For networking, education, having a voice, right, which is the advocacy piece. And what I love about, the Dearborn Realtors Board, we're really pushing to help our members grow their business.
Okay.
We get to do that by helping families. So the strategy for this year is to have 4 community wealth building days.
Okay.
And the first one is February 22nd.
All right.
That's in Evanston, Illinois. And what I'm excited about in Evanston is, with the dynamic alderman, Robin Simmons, up there, we've been able to partner to support her efforts with bringing a black reparations program that she was able to get passed in Evanston.
Wait. I gotta stop you. A reparations program in Evanston.
That's correct.
I haven't heard of many reparations programs in the country, and we have one in our backyard in Evanston.
That is correct. I'm just amazed at, how her fortitude, her leadership, and her collaborative spirit was able to bring a lot of us to the table to kind of brain trust and think this strategy out. She was, which ultimately means the community was successful in achieving the first steps of getting this moving. And that's what promoted us to want to support her efforts and bring in a community wealth building day there, which is really about helping the community understand the power of building wealth through real estate. So if we have a second, I just want to kind of walk us through what a National Association of Real Estate Brokers, NARAB, Community Day looks like, and the wins for all parties involved. So first, we're bringing all of the different aspects of a real estate transaction, and we're going to swarm the Civic Center at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on February 22nd in Evanston at the Civic Center. Now, you're going to have an attorney help desk, which is big. So our members who are real estate attorneys will be there to walk families through building code issues, senior exemptions for property tax, loan and lien modifications, and just about any types of issues that a family might engage in real estate that's law related.
Right.
We're going to be encouraging folks to bring their documentation,
Right.
so that when they get that consultation and that help desk, they can get the most for the amount of time.
So if I'm coming to this community day in Evanston, do I need to be from Evanston in order to attend this community day?
You do not have to be from Evanston to attend.
Okay, great. So let's say I'm coming from Chicago to Evanston to attend this community day, specifically to go to this this lawyer help desk, right? A lot of times we receive communications in the mail from the tax department, from the law department, that's written in a language that laymen can't understand, right? I can bring this paperwork. I can show up at Evanston to Community Day on February 22nd.
That's correct.
And I can sit in front of a licensed attorney who will explain what this paperwork means.
You will get help. And
That's outstanding.
we, at the national level and at the local level across the country, have had a tremendous amount of success in these events.
Okay.
And that's what kind of prompted, through our partnerships, of us wanting to expand how many of them we have in a calendar year.
Okay.
Because the goal is to help families. The goal is to get folks moving in homes, get folks investing in property. So that's one piece. But what about having, the Real Estate 101? Okay. What about having workshops so that our lender partners can actually dive a little bit deeper in their loan programs and the requirements to qualify for their loan programs? What about having our 6th through college level youth come in and learn about the power of understanding money and real estate? How many of us talk now that if we understood the basics of real estate when we were in high school,
right,
how much further along we would be? Or how many folks have we counseled who ran into trouble, who probably wouldn't even have run into that trouble if this information would have been exposed to them when they were younger? So bringing folks in while they're young can kind of demystify and break fears of stuff that they might have witnessed with their parents or grandparents.
So more than just educating adults, we're educating the youth to learn real estate and understand how real estate can be a tool for them to increase their wealth as they grow.
That's exactly what this is about. It's about wrapping our arms around the total community, and we have some dynamic partners. So many of our lender partners, so many of the title companies, so many of the brokerages, that the members make up and partners of of the trade association. I mean, it's exciting to see that we provide child care services so that families at home on a Saturday don't have to stay because you don't have a sitter. We want to foster an environment where there could be face painting and, some different fun activities for the family. But this is, make no mistake about it, this is about financial literacy, this is about financial education, and this is about opportunity. So we're telling folks, look, we're going to have housing counseling agencies there to pull credit and give you a snapshot of where you are today. You don't have to speculate. Then from there, for those that have the financial wherewithal to get approved for a mortgage, our hopes is that folks are leaving that event with a pre-approval in their hand. That you can start working with, Realtist brokers in your community to find property. So that has a lot to do with the makeup of what a community wealth building day is.
And what's the cost of this?
Free. It's $0.99.
Wait, so in our short conversation, you've listed attorneys, you've listed people from title, you've listed lenders, you've listed real estate brokers.
That's correct.
You've listed several mortgage companies that will be in the building that day, and there's no cost.
There's no cost. This is, in order for the impact that we want to bring to the community, it has to be available to the community. Many of these families have paid a tremendous cost for things that haven't even necessarily helped them. So that's one of the things that I love about being a realtist, and that's being the conscious of the real estate community. We get to help people and get compensated for it at the same time, and that's an awesome place to be, in my humble opinion.
So if I'm a realtist and I'm sitting at home right now, or I'm on my smartphone, my laptop, and I'm watching this interview, and it's still time for me to show up on the 22nd of February in Evanston, why should I go? If I'm in this real estate profession, what is going to benefit me by showing up and lending my expertise to a community day such as the one as Dearborn is creating? That
in and of itself is the ingredient of success for a real estate professional.
Okay.
Is to be where people are. So it would behoove a person not to want to be there. But I would almost challenge folks to say you'd want to be a member. Because these opportunities are really geared to get the members in front of the folks that need your expertise. And that's what this event is geared to do. We're trying to mirror the expertise with those that need it. And in doing so in a controlled environment where folks can get a lot of information and it doesn't have to take so long to get it.
Okay.
Right? So instead of having to go meet with 4 or 5 different lenders, you can meet with them on this morning, afternoon. Right? Instead of having to worry about who do I go to for housing counseling,
right,
you will be exposed to housing counseling on this particular Saturday. Right? Understanding the difference between FHA, and conventional, having a panel listening to real estate brokers, housing counselors, real estate attorney, home warranty, and so on and so on. That's going to provide folks with a learnings that might take some time to acquire, and you'll be able to get it all on that particular morning and afternoon.
So I heard you speak about panels. So is that to say that there'll be some sort of class structure? There'll be classes that people can take during that day?
That is correct. We're digging deep. So there are going to be workshops, breakout sessions where folks can find out about down payment assistance programs, what different products are in the marketplace today and on the horizon for the marketplace. So it's going to be an exciting day, and I'm looking forward to, like in the past, seeing folks come out crying, literally in tears, because they did not believe home ownership was possible for them. So to see that, that'll give you some perspective.
So the last community day that you guys had, can you talk about some of the successes from the last event that Dearborn had?
Yes, we had our last community day was at Malcolm X College, and I can't thank the leadership team of Malcolm X and the city of Chicago for its support in us having the venue. And it was over 1,100 families came out on that day, and were able to get financial literacy curriculum, as well as they were able to get pre-approved some families on the spot to purchase property, which and our data shows that several of those folks have already purchased their homes today. So the event itself was tremendously successful. It exceeded all of our expectations in terms of a turnout, and even the follow-up in terms of how many folks were able to acquire property from that event.
And I imagine that you're looking to do the same thing in Evanston on February 22nd.
Yes. Our goal for 2020, as I stated earlier, we're looking to do 4 community wealth building days, and we're spreading them out throughout the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. So you'll see us at Kennedy King College. You'll see us in downstate Illinois. And then you'll see us in collaboration with a few community organizations here in the city of Chicago. So we're really excited about ramping up this outreach, and we're really looking to see the black home ownership rate for the city and state of Illinois to continue to try to improve it.
So with the black home ownership rate, and let's start at national level and bring it back to a local level. On a national level, what are we looking at as black people in home ownership?
Yes, really quickly, we're at about a 41.5%, 42%. We've had an uptick nationally from about 40%. And here in Chicago, as a city, we're up about a half a point. So we're around that 39, almost 39.5%. So we're striving in the right direction, but I'm really excited. These types of events will definitely assist with moving the needle on that number.
Excellent information today. Dearborn Realtist President Courtney Jones, I'd like to thank you again for speaking to Realtist Nation. I need you guys to go out to Evanston February 22nd to attend the community day there, and let's get these numbers for black home ownership up. My name is Darryl Powell Lee. I am the host for the Realtist Report, and we'll see you next time.